perspectives. Remaining with us right now, the incoming president of the Club for Growth, David McIntosh from Newsmax Washington. David, you mentioned something earlier before you offered your candid criticism of the crumnibus, as you called it, but that was this fight against Obamacare. Does the agreement from both the House and the Senate to extend most of the funding for the government and for Mr. Obama's priorities on through September of 2015, does that give Obamacare new life in terms of keeping the money flowing, letting the bureaucratic roots sink in, if you will?
You know, again, it was a missed opportunity. They should have done a short-term CR until the Republican Senate was in place. They need to look and find a way in the process to use reconciliation. As you and I know, JD, that's inside the Beltway term, but essentially a process where 50 senators can pass a repeal of Obamacare. They need to do it full-throatedly and put it on the president's desk so that the message is clear. The voters have spoken. This is a terrible piece of legislation. It's the one new program that I've seen in my lifetime where, as it became implemented, more and more Americans say they disapprove of it. You're seeing more people go on uninsurance and be uninsured as a result of a bill that was supposed to help people get insurance. In its own terms, it's a failure in policy, and they need to fight hard to show people they're going to do everything they can to dismantle it. The crumnibus gave it another year of life support, if you will, but they need to pick up the battle early in January to take away a lot of the key parts of that. Yeah, I thank you for running Chris's definition of the club. He's right on, and I'm delighted to succeed him. I told him, I really want you to stay involved and be on the board and help me continue the good work you've done in the club. So in a way, we'll have both of us out there championing these freedom and free markets.
Well, it is good to know a couple of guys from Indiana are in that role, and we appreciate, I certainly enjoyed working with both of you in the Congress of the United States. I wanted to talk more about the specter of continued heavy taxation. The late, great Milton Friedman said it was real simple. If you want less of something, tax it. And obviously, Obamacare really is just a whole new form of taxes. Can we expect, and I know that Dave Camp, my old colleague on Ways and Means, is leaving. He was frustrated. He could not enact meaningful tax reform. Will you encourage the incoming chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Paul Ryan, to finally take up the mantle of tax reform in addition to tax cuts?
Absolutely. And Paul, as you and I know from serving with him, understands the need to do that and the growth in the economy that will occur when you reduce the overall rates, both corporate and individual, get rid of the special provisions. It's almost like earmarks in the tax code that they've created over the years, and unleash economic growth and potential when people can see that when they work hard, invest their money, create jobs, create wealth, they'll be able to keep the rewards of that. The government will get its share to continue to run the necessary programs, mounted defense and other things that are in the Constitution, but we'll have a tax system that encourages hard work, investment, and rewards Americans for all of the things they're trying to do in creating a better future for themselves.
About a minute 15 remains, David. Chris Chicola outlined the political activities of the Club for Growth, getting involved in campaigns. We think back to earlier years where you guys got behind outspoken conservatives like Ted Cruz. Obviously, 2016 is a presidential year. We're hearing that Jeb Bush has taken to social media to announce his intent to actively explore a candidacy for the presidency. What do you make of what's ahead in terms of presidential prospects in 2016?
And in the past, the club's affiliated PAC has not endorsed a candidate for president, but we have researched their records on the economic agenda and made that known to voters and people who are looking about who they should support. Several people that the club has endorsed for Senate races are also looking at whether to run for president. So I think the value we can add definitely is to make their records known about how they have in the past addressed cutting taxes, keeping a lid on spending, free trade, reducing regulations. Whether the club will get involved beyond that is something the board will have to take up.
And when you guys
I
take
think
it up, I hope you'll join me again. We'll have to leave it there. David McIntosh, thanks so much.